The Devil Wears Prada that came out in 2006 is one of my favorite movies. I hate the ending. That's a whole other conversation that we can have. But of course, this movie is getting the Hollywood remake treatment. And they are not just remaking it, they are adding a sequel in present day with all of the original cast. They've confirmed Anne Hathaway to star, as well as Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, Kenneth Branagh, and Lucy Liu, a whole list of stars joining this cast. And it's going to be based on a second novel in the series called Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns, which sees Andy Sachs, Anne Hathaway's character, now an editor at a bridal magazine, reuniting with her old boss, Miranda Priestly, who is played by Meryl Streep. And then you see Emily Blunt's character go, head-to-head with Miranda Priestly for power over Runway, which is the movie's version of Vogue magazine. Mm-hmm. All of that is besides the point, but you get the picture. This is a movie about fashion and the fashion industry, first and foremost. And we're currently seeing first looks at the film set and the outfits they're putting Anne Hathaway in. And I was horrified, actually, to see what they've chosen to put her in. This is a crime.
So let's start with this one here.
Yeah, and this is posted by Popbase, by the way, which says, new look at Anne Hathaway filming The Devil Wears Prada 2. You know it's bad when even Popbase isn't saying you stunned. Anne Hathaway is not, I mean, I was stunned in like a bad way when I saw this. She's just wearing a pantsuit and a vest with no top underneath.
Props to her for still looking quite young.
She looks great. She's a vampire. I will give her credit where it's due. But the outfit is not doing her any favors. It looks very frumpy. There's another one that was posted by Popbase that gives a fuller look of the outfit. This is not just devoid of sex appeal. It's also devoid of any appeal to the women who will be watching this movie. I don't think this is really giving what it's supposed to give.
Why is it that women are so into baggy pants these days?
The baggy pants are a scourge on humanity. And you'll see another pair in the next photos where Anne Hathaway was spotted on the first day of filming in downtown Manhattan. She's wearing these gigantic jeans with, like, basically these are Chanel branded Birkenstock sandals.
It's really interesting how, those pants have become as popular as they are, considering they do absolutely nothing for anybody.
No, they don't hide being fat. They don't flatter you if you're skinny.
Yeah. They
do no one any favors, and yet they're just ubiquitous. You can't even find skinny jeans these days because everything is so baggy. There's another set of photos from filming where the first one shows her in this, basically a muumuu. A multicolored muumuu and a bucket hat.
Looks like a stained glass window.
Not in a good way.
No.
Like, I see what you're trying to say there, but, like, no. And then the next one is by far the worst that has come out yet. She's wearing this...
She's on her way to work at an airport.
She's wearing coveralls.
She's unloading bags at an airport.
She's wearing zip-up coveralls with the huge chunky sandals.
Rick in the chat says, making a fuss over nothing. In my opinion, she looks great. Nobody's saying she does not look great. They're saying that the fashion, Mary's saying that the fashion
the outfits look horrendous, and Anne Hathaway looks good because she's Anne Hathaway. Doesn't mean that you can get away with dressing her in, basically what looks like a less slutty version of the Blue Origin space launch outfits. It's not
funny how there's a more slutty version of it.
Yeah, and then you get a better view of these outfits in the next post. This muumuu is a crime. I mean, she has a great figure. Why is this a thing with this enormous bucket hat? And I mean, the coveralls really were like the last straw for me.
Yeah.
And then I would like to compare it. I posted a comparison from 2006 compared to 2025. This is what they had her wearing in the original movie after she learns about fashion and has this little makeover scene. She comes into the office wearing this outfit, which I think is stunning. And of course, she looks the same age as she does today because she's a vampire.
She'll show up in a red carpet wearing this for the movie, just not in the movie.
These are extremely thigh-high leather boots that are skin tight with a mini skirt. So automatically you're already on the right track.
Okay.
And then you see the coveralls and it's just like, what are we doing, folks? And then there's a listicle that I found. We can scroll through some of the most iconic outfits that they put together for the original. And it's just overall more feminine.
The hell with the coverall. Look at that sidekick she's holding.
Yeah,
She's got a T-Mobile sidekick.
Yeah, the worst part about this remake is, or the sequel is, they're going to be using iPhones instead of the sidekick.
I was like, if I made movies, I would limit it to iPhone 4 and 3. I would make the movie anachronistic, and all the phones would be iPhone 3s and 4s. Nothing
just
newer
pretend
than that.
that everybody is aged 20 years. But this is just more classic, more feminine, more thoughtful. The accessories obviously are curated for this movie very specifically, and it was a tribute to the fashion industry. And I don't know what the hell the sequel is supposed to be. Like, I just don't understand it. What are they gonna have Miranda Priestley wearing? Another, like, I mean, Meryl Streep is older now. Are they going to be dressing her like Hillary Clinton?
Probably.
Emily Blunt is also extremely well dressed in the original. And this is Emily Blunt pre-ruining her face with fillers and Botox, to the point where when I saw her in Fall Guy a couple of years ago, it was literally unrecognizable and distracting. I couldn't even focus on what was going on in some scenes because the mountain of filler in her cheekbones was all too much. And the reason why this is happening is several creative industries have completely collapsed and they don't care about excellence anymore. Them being Hollywood, the fashion industry, and the art world, generally speaking. Like, they all have turned instead to this faux intellectual posture where everything has to be defiantly ugly in order to be considered real art or real expression that's authentic.
But, I mean, that's not even technically true because they show up to the red carpet in outfits that are supposed to be considered...
Yeah, like, let's compare when this movie comes out and they go to the premiere. What is Anne Hathaway going to be wearing on the red carpet?
She's not going to be wearing a muumuu.
She's not going to be wearing a muumuu, and she's not going to look like a mechanic. Okay, that speaks volumes. It speaks for itself.
This might be a better example of wokeness than any feminist
this is woke.
plot line in a movie is this type of thing where it's like it's ugly for the sake of ugly.
Yes.
Because somehow they've tricked themselves into believing that being intentionally unattractive somehow makes it deeper or more intellectual or more meaningful than if something is just pretty to look at.
Absolutely. I do think that this is sort of an expression of woke.
Yeah.
Maybe people are going to think I'm reaching because it's not like they made Anne Hathaway trans or fat or gay or whatever, but I think almost this is more insidious because it's harder to clock, you know, and you start sounding like a raving lunatic like I am right now if you try to argue the point. But it is woke. Yeah. To dress a beautiful, slender woman in clothing this unflattering and masculine is woke. I don't know if it's a feminist gesture or it's just something that we don't even question now.
In the chat, Sam Tesla says, wait, how is that woke? It's just shitty clothes. Do you want to explain it better?
Okay, well, one feature that is unmistakable in woke ideology is a celebration of ugliness and of mediocrity. And you can see this in any modern art these days where people make jokes like, oh, my 5-year-old could have made this. The reason why that stuff is propped up as high art now, aside from just like money laundering operations, is because it's seen as this pseudo-intellectual attempt at
deconstructing.
Yeah, it's basically deconstructing everything because they come from a culturally Marxist perspective. And they have done the same thing to fashion that they've done to all art, which includes movies and TV shows, but also art that you see in a gallery at a museum, and also fashion and everything now.
There's
Everything.
very little in the way of celebrating what was once popular 20 years ago, and a lot more in the way of deconstructing what was once popular 20 years ago for the sake of creating some type of artful commentary on why that was a bad thing here in the West.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so nonsensical, especially because when you watch the original movie, she's in a relationship with this boyfriend of hers who doesn't understand her new job and all of the expectations that are placed on her for working at a fashion magazine. And he puts down the fact that she is wearing all of these luxury items and cares about designer clothes now. But like, if it were all about the male gaze and like sexualizing her, like that wouldn't really follow, would it?
Yeah.
It's actually explained in the movie by Miranda Priestley herself that Anne Hathaway's character grossly underestimates the importance of an industry as huge and far-reaching and impactful as the fashion industry, as basically a way to make herself feel like she is above it intellectually. And she's like, well, you think that you've made these choices of what to wear for yourself, but actually people like me choose it for you in this long line of, you know, handing it off to runways that hand off to department stores that hand off to discount stores that hand it off to you, and you think that you're expressing yourself.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's an industry that has chosen your clothing for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, all of that is to say, yeah, it is woke. It's incredibly woke that we're expected to, I mean, it's Emperor's New Clothes, well, except she's not naked. We're expected to think that this is like high fashion and high art, and this is beautiful to look at, when in reality, it's objectively not.
Yeah.
It's objectively ugly. And, you know, maybe people are going to say it's not that deep, but fashion is definitely a lot deeper than you realize, and it definitely impacts us when we see it on screen. And this decision to dress her this way is one that was given hours upon hours of thought and curation by the experts of this industry. There is a team of costume designers getting paid to make these decisions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the same group that did the first one, or is it?
I mean, probably not, just because it's been 20 years, but
Somebody died.
regardless, there is an entire department dedicated to making these decisions, and they have very thought out reasons for why they choose the outfits they do. And to think it's not that deep is just kind of reductive.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's true of, I mean, even productions that have nothing to do with fashion.
Yes.
How you dress a character is an extremely important part in
Yeah.
getting across what they're trying to represent.
Which is exactly what I was trying to point out about Lois Lane in the new Superman. Of course, the way that they dressed her in the movie is something that they agonized over.
And it is fair to point out that they address it in film, meaning that they give an explanation as to why her personality is that way. So at the very least, it falls in line. It's not just dropped in there and never addressed as to why she doesn't look like a professional.
Not that
or at least different than the average professional.
Yeah, not that I accept that explanation as a justification to waste such a beautiful woman as Rachel Brosnahan on butch clothes, but Anne Hathaway would be in the same category. She doesn't deserve this.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.